Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. It's Thursday, January 19th, and we're just getting into the swing of earnings season. Procter & Gamble we had this morning. We had the finance, the banks in the past week. We got Netflix after hours tonight. Then we got all the big cap, other big mega cap tech stocks coming in the next 2 weeks. So look at SPY QQ. It reversed yesterday. So yesterday in the morning show, we're pretty optimistic. In the chat room, I changed my mind as soon as we went red because we did have mixed economic data in the morning, which could have been interpreted positively or negatively. And I was already looking for a pullback. I did warn that once the junk stocks are up huge, and where's my where's my watch? Where's my stocks? Ain't showing. Okay, hold on. You got a blank screen. So let's fix this 1 second. We're going to stop that camera and try to load it up again. Just 1 second. Sorry for this issue, and let's try this again. Okay. Now we should be good. All right, there's your charts. All right, so you can see SPY QQQ. Here we go. So yesterday when we reversed and we went and we had a reversal, we went from a green day to a red day. That was my signal. I put it in the chat room. I took off a lot of my swing trades. I didn't increase my hedge. Man, intellectually, I knew like, hey, this could be the top of the bear market rally, but emotionally, very hard on a dime to say I'm bullish, I'm bullish, I'm bullish, and then say, all right, now I'm short in the market. So I didn't short, but I did take a lot of call options off. I took a lot of profits off the table. Hopefully, that's going to be enough to put me in a position to outperform. As the market goes down, I'll have some cash available to deploy. So, but in any case, we're getting mixed signals again this morning. Mixed signals out of Bank of England and ECB, all about inflation versus recession, soft landing versus hard landing. We're getting mixed signal economic data this morning. Job numbers were good again, and inflation numbers good. So people are confused by that, like kind of soft landing data, but no one really believes it. You can see the market is still down. Basically, everyone's universally expecting a recession at this point. And after morning really concerned me. This is consumer staples company. Why is their top line miss? Why is it going down? That's disappointing to me. If people are spending less on, I don't know, hair gel and toiletries and things like that, and they have some food also. So a little bit concerning. And you can see Procter & Gamble gapping below some key levels on the daily moving averages, gapping below the 200-day moving average. You can see the support levels here on the weekly. So P&G definitely a concern. Another concern, Goldman Sachs, after a terrible quarter this morning, they filed a mixed shelf, the size not disclosed. I'm like, really? What's going on there? That made me think of Credit Suisse. I pulled up Credit Suisse this morning, and I'm like, whoa, that's down, gapping up big this morning. So, I'm still worried about a possible credit event similar to what we had in 2008, 2009. Who knows if it's like imminent or months away or quarters away. All of those time frames are on the table. So, I'm going to be monitoring stocks like Goldman Sachs and Credit Suisse, but HYG, another one. I'm adding it to the list. This is the junk debt. This is something that's really good to watch as a sign that there could be a credit crisis. So all of that, not necessarily imminent, but we are now watching those things. We got Netflix after the close today. Usually I don't kind of bet on big cap earnings. I'm probably not going to bet on it here, but if I had to make a guess, I'm going to guess Netflix earnings are going to be decent because of policy changes they're making internally, at least the guidance. They're really making a lot of changes there to suck a lot more money out of their viewers. So I think that might be successful financially in terms of their actual numbers of subscribers. Who knows, maybe not as good. But I'm not making a bet on it, but watching it, it could move the market. We'll see. They've moved the market before. They've changed the direction of the market before. In fact, that's why I was on kind of red alert going into the latter half of this week was, hey, Netflix earnings Thursday after the close could change the sentiment. Anyway, the sentiment ended up changing a day earlier. So I was a little bit caught off guard because I was trying to get the full extent of that bear market rally move, but that's okay. We took some profits yesterday, and we're having a nice cash position now to play. Tesla even sold all of that. I was playing it long TSLL, so caught that near the top. So that worked out as well. They have earnings next week, so we'll have to watch the supports to see if there's an opportunity or if we'll have to wait after earnings. Now let's get into some specific stocks. A new stock I put on my watch list this morning, NRGV, I believe thanks to Matt Kolb, who put it on our radar. I know nothing about it. except I quickly looked at the chart, which looks good. I looked at the news, which seems very interesting. Shares up 46% on raised fourth quarter FY22 revenue outlook. And if you look at what they do, very interesting area, energy storage solutions. So this checks all the immediate boxes of, hey, this is something I might be interested in. I did pick up a small position at $4.60. Excuse the background noise. Had to have my kids are visiting me at work today, but they're going to stay quiet the rest of the show. But $4.60, a very small starter position, just because that beat was very, very big. And I'm looking at the possibility. Let's see what the resistance level is here. 508. What did we hit yesterday? It broke it, came back down. So again, 508 would be your resistance. Next resistance, 7. So 508 and 7. I don't know the fundamentals strong enough yet to say, hey, let's pound the table on this. I just got a starter position. It's on the watch list. We're going to try to bring Matt Kolb on the show at some point to talk about NGRV. All right, a few other things. Let me jump around just a little bit. Let me go to SMSI first, because we had an event yesterday on SMSI for our VIPs, an awesome event with lots of new great information. I'm not going to be sharing the details of that event here. That's for VIPs only. So if you're not a VIP, you can hop on over to StoryTrading.com, and in our archives in our app, you can take a look at that event. This will not be going up on YouTube, but people who saw the event yesterday have learned a lot more about SMSI. Of course, they had the big news yesterday morning, which we caught at the tail end of our show. And you can see the stock reacted very well to those earnings, pulling back. Looks like it's at a support level on the 5-minute candles. But if you pull back to the daily, perhaps it can have a bigger pullback. But we'll have to wait and see. You can take a look at that video and learn a lot. All right, we're going to go over to ASUR, ASUR Software, ASUR. We interviewed the CEO a couple nights ago. Very nice interview. Some very interesting things. Nice little company, growing well, cash flow positive. ASUR had news last night, a deal with H&R Block. That seems meaningful. In addition to that deal, shot an email over to IR last night saying, hey, do you guys know that you're on the cusp of potentially making it to the Russell 2000 this year? Is that on your radar? So the answer was yes, it's on our radar, and we definitely would like to get into the Russell 2000. So that's sure. You can take a look at that just recently. So if it's going to bounce off this 20 DMA, it could make a move back to 1050 plus. Kind of tough to do in a red market like this. So we got to see if that 20 DMA holds. If it doesn't, you can see 50 DMA support down here at 860 in a real market correction. But this is an interesting company. I don't have a position yet, but I'm definitely considering it. XXII, huge news. We talked about this on the show yesterday, but there was news right after the show ended. And for some reason, the news is not showing in the TD Ameritrade feed. So go out and look for that news. We have massive, massive news on huge distribution agreements to get their VLN cigarettes, very low nicotine cigarettes, into basically almost a national footprint here. There's definitely more work to do in terms of retail chains and things like that to get it. But the data on that press release, very, very positive, with what sounds like near-term expectations to get VLN cigarettes into large chain convenience stores. So that's going to be very, very interesting. All right, we got XXII, ASUR we covered, SMSI. CTLP, I just wanted to note, because it did have some pre-market volume here, 6,000 shares trading at $5.05. This one over here, you have a pullback support, possibly the 200 DMA of 475. Lots of big volume. Man, it's going to be hard. I'm starting to think, even with these really, really strong companies, good fundamentals that have recently broke some key moving averages, it's been a huge move, right? We've seen this in CTLP. We've seen it in DRIO. I'm having a hard time imagining that we're going to now go straight up to the next key moving average. So I'm kind of now starting to anticipate the possibility of maybe getting some good deals in these high quality companies, whether it's SMSI, CTLP, DRIO that's come up so much. I mean, come on, these moves have been incredible, like 30 to 50% moves, 60% moves in 2-3 weeks in some of these names that we follow. So I did, for example, DRIO, I had a bunch of call options I bought months ago that would gladly, this set was in the money. It doesn't always work out. They were expiring tomorrow. So I actually took the opportunity yesterday morning to sell off those call options. So, I'm starting to think a pullback can impact some of these great stocks, and some of these risk assets can give us some chances to get in lower. All right. Let's see what else we got here. SMSI, CTLP. Clearfield. Oh man, what is going to happen with this? They issued a press release yesterday, and it did not help addressing the concerns of sorry, I got like a brain freeze because I had like 3 kids yelling in my ear in the back, but supply chain issues that were raised by CalX, CALX. So Clearfield did not recover. I'm actually very, very surprised that it didn't. And now technically, I see a support level at $72. You can see that pretty clearly here with the top of this candle, and then it broke out on the top of this candle right here. So maybe it goes as low as 72. If I was just a technical trader and I'm looking at this, I'd be concerned. I'm like, it broke the 50-week moving average, which it basically never does. Yeah, you have your 72 support. RSI, 52 still potentially has room to the downside. RSI 42 on the daily, or no, 28 on the daily. It does look good, actually, 28, but very, very bad price action Clearfield. But my faith is not shaken. I believe they're going to have a killer quarter in February in just a few weeks, and I would not be surprised to see the stock rocket up above $100 in very fast fashion after the earnings report on Clearfield in just a couple weeks. So I'm staying with that talk. You know the story in that. I did increase my position yesterday. I love the story here. EV negative, flipping to profitability at the JP Morgan conference on those very bullish comments. Actually, in a way, valuation-wise, I like it even a little bit better than DRIO. In fact, those call options I sold yesterday on DRIO, I took it and I added more to my talk position yesterday. BBBY, just a gamble here. Probably lose money on it, but I have been buying puts on it so far. It hasn't worked out. So we'll see if BBBY declares bankruptcy or not. There was another one yesterday, that Party City, which did not work out. That was hopefully Vegas did not stay in that overnight or didn't take that trade. I don't even know what the ticker is, but Party City, there was some worries about bankruptcy, and they actually did declare bankruptcy. I don't even know what the ticker is, but the stock is no longer trading on that one. So I'm kind of hopeful, since I'm short on BBBY, that we'll see a bankruptcy filing any day. We'll see. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know about hopefully, but we'll see if that happens. All right. What else do we got here? ACRH had relative strength yesterday after that big news. Let's see. What can we fill the gap here at like 270? That would be nice. If we make a pullback to 270, I'm currently out of the stock. I did ride that from like 270 to 308 or something. So that was fun. We barely missed the secondary target. We had 2 swing targets. When I saw the market turning, I bailed. But I may try to get back in at 270 support, and then you have 50 DMA support at $2.33. All right, so that actually, let's just kind of leave it at there. May go to Vegas early this morning. Let me just see if there's any other news. We talked about Procter & Gamble. So, all right, let's bring on Vegas in 3, 2, and 1. Good morning. I love stocks. How you doing?
Good morning. Sometimes I hate stocks.
Sometimes he hates stocks.
I know. Some days you're like, oh my, I hate this trade. So good morning, everyone. And yeah, it's a very interesting morning here. I could see here that futures did gap down overnight. Big sell-off under that 1,000, closing on the lows. We saw a big rejection after the market tried to reclaim that trend line of the 4,000. But every time we test it in the last year, it's kind of had a lot of strong selling there. So no different this time. So the bulls have to defend that 3,900 to 3,879, not any lower. If we get under that, I think we'll set up for a move to the downside. But just gonna right now, no one should feel pressure to trade. Sometimes the market's choppy. Just sit and watch, and good money to be made though to the downside. If you are in a channel and there's an opportunity where support's broken, you can definitely make some good money on some puts.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky for me during earnings season, because we reversed yesterday. And what's really hard is that emotional flip, because intellectually I saw that reversal from green to red, and I flashed some warning signals into our WhatsApp chat rooms, and I did take some risk off the table, but I didn't short the market. I just took like some profits. And even though intellectual, I'm like, hey, this is probably the end of this bear market rally, I just couldn't like emotionally flip it to now let me be bearish, right? And now let me even short the market, which would have been the right thing to do. But at least I took some profits yesterday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you have to do. Like a lot of people sometimes, they just like to keep holding forever. And that's not really a good strategy. You know, sometimes you have to see that the market's trying to tell you that, hey, it's weak right now. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking that profit, because you know what? You can always get back in. Like, you know, you can always get back in. Like, I mean, I would rather take my money and maybe I'll miss out. Like, oh man, I could have held longer, made more money. But at least like I took a profit, even if it means sometimes I will say I've actually closed flat sometimes, even though I didn't make any money. But at least the job number one is everyone knows you should be preserving your capital. So that's really, really important. So we'll see what the market's going to want to do today. I'm going to be watching.
Do you have anything for today? I know we like swing trades, but we like swing trades that have a catalyst today that it might do well today as well. Do you have anything on the radar? I really actually don't. We watched 300 stocks, and I didn't see any strong catalysts which might cause a stock to outperform today, except maybe Zyme, ZYME. But do you have anything on your radar that might do well today?
Well, I'm currently in an active swing trade on this company called AQMS, Aqua Metals. The reason I like it, they're in the lithium battery space, and they opened up a plant in Tahoe. I think it's in Tahoe, Nevada. And or Tahoe, yeah, I think around
I see
there.
that was yesterday morning.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm in this swing trade. I've actually been in this trade honestly since like very end of December. It's just kind of like it moves very slow, but you know what? I like it. The chart's nice. The company is cash.
Up 50% looks like since late December.
It's very nice. Yeah, from December, so I'm up almost 50%. It's still very cheap. The actual stock's very cheap still. And so I think that there's, you know, it's good to watch, because I like swing trades also that are not stressful, that are like, you know, the channels are there. It's easy. It moves slow. I don't got to babysit. I mean, I obviously can see it all day. It's on my board. But I haven't had to like go, oh my God, this one's pulling back. What's going on? I hate doing that. So I like to just be in stocks that have like nice momentum, or they move slow. But the nice thing is that it's moving consistently. Like it's all week been in this range, like $1.50 range. And that's okay. I'm like, you know what? It'll eventually get to hopefully $2 eventually. When, I don't know, but it doesn't matter, because you know it's going in the right direction, and it's got that support on the weekly chart. You know, the 8-day over the 8 and 20. It's over the 8 and 21. It's got a nice expansion breakout setting up. It's got a beautiful pocket pivot. Like I love pocket pivots. You know, kind of a footprint where you know, the volume for that day is higher than any other volume for a down day in the last 10 days. So I really like that too. And we'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes. Like, you know, today, a day like today, honestly, like even for day trade, I'm just going to be looking for reversals in the market. So, you know, stocks like NVIDIA have pulled back, or I was looking at Lululemon. I mean, that stock's pulled back like $7 overnight. So I'm going to be watching to see if it has a reversal to have, you know, a move to the upside. But I don't really have like anything major to watch on day trade level. I mean, I have a watch list here, but I'm not so, you know, gung-ho on anything, because I'm still waiting to see like which directions the market really want to go, like after the open. You know, sometimes the market will have like false reversals, or you know, pulls back, and the next thing they'll boom, it reverses. So I like to just wait out. You know, you might want to wait till 10 to get a better feel for the directional move of the market. I was kind of watching Federal Express. Looks pretty ugly, so I'm looking maybe to short Federal Express for day trade to the downside. Has room, I think, to like 185, 182.29. But I mean, I'm not in the position. I'm gonna have to just watch. So I'm just gonna be an observer today, see what the market's gonna do. But you know, right now for penny stock, I really like this AQMS. I'm in it. I'm sitting here and just waiting for this to make its move. So,
I like what I see so far in AQMS. I'm gonna try to look at this. I already have I have 300 stocks on my watch list. So I gotta find something to delete.
My God.
delete to add
It's
add
got to be something you
AQMS.
can delete. Yeah.
Yeah. But that reminds me of AMLI. Seems kind of similar. Do you still own AMLI?
No, I don't have AMLI.
You got rid of that
The
one? Okay.
American Lithium? No, but I
Yeah.
will say that I like the AQMS chart much better. So, I mean, AMLI is not bad, but I mean, look at the price. I mean, it's a much different price point. It's almost double the price of AQMS. And like the chart's much stronger on AQMS is a stronger chart. So
Yeah,
I like to
I
go
do
where
like the
the
AQMS.
strength is.
I will give you one stock I noted this morning, which
Yeah.
has maybe a possibility of outperforming. I want you to look at is NRGV. NRGV had a nice catalyst yesterday morning. I just learned about it from our chat room last night. I found the stock to delete to add it, so that's great. So NRGV, take a look at that price action. Could be interesting.
Yeah, you know what? This one had a nice pocket pivot on NRGV. But noticing that the energy stocks are strong. Like even like Plug Power has been strong. Like there's some good energy stocks out there that are pretty strong. NRGV looks good. Had a nice volume. Was there any news on it yesterday?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I only give you stuff that have a nice recent
Has
catalyst. So
news. Yeah.
NRGV yesterday morning, they raised Q4 and full year 22 revenue outlook
Oh,
pretty
love it.
significantly. They revised
Mm.
the revenue range of 100 from 75 to 100 million up to 142 to 152 million. So the revenue is like 50% higher than
Yeah.
their prior guide. This is just a revenue pre-announcement, so earnings are coming out in the near future on that.
You know what? I love when a company does that. I mean, these days people want to see growth, companies with growth. And so
And
the
they're in a
fact
hot
that,
sector, energy
yeah,
storage.
yes, and that sector is really, really hot. So I would say this company has options, but I will say it's just not worth trading on options. There's no liquidity here. So stick to the commons on NRGV. You have a target on yours? Like, are you in this
Yeah,
trade
I
right
did
now?
give a couple targets this morning.
Yeah.
It was 510 roughly, and then 7. I see more resistance at like 666. Actually, that's a declining 200 DMA. So that's actually called 660. 510 and then 660. Anticipating that
Yeah,
200
you know what?
DMA
We're very
declining more.
close. I have like 508 and then 672. So you know what? We're pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah.
Looks great. And this looks great. Thanks for putting on my radar. I like it. So I'm definitely I'll look at it. I'm not in it right now. I'm just kind of, I don't have too many penny stocks, but one I did mention too that I really like too is this company called Rig. Maybe you can put that on your
Yeah, you
watch list
mentioned it
too.
yesterday. Well,
Yeah, very nice chart. Currently, we're trading around 565, and it had a 52-week high on a rig. So rig is one to to keep a watch. They did have. Let me just pull it up here. Let me go to my rig. Yeah, they did have some. I think some news as well on RIG.
lots of
Transocean, and it's in the same space as your other one. Energy and gas, and they're in Switzerland. Transocean. Very cool website. But they had like a whole bunch of different news with their senior notes, but definitely what I like about them is they have so many contracts, so many contract awards for hundreds of millions of dollars. So definitely one to watch because they have like $32 million. There's so many backlogs, so many orders on backlog. They have like one order for like $331 million of backlog, another one for $32 million of backlog. Like, they have so much work, they can't keep up. Like,
Yep.
it's just crazy. So, anyways, I love companies that have backlog. It's a good problem to have. So, nevertheless, one to watch with this company, and definitely see how this one might play out too from a swing perspective. And
All
they
right.
did do an investor presentation not too long ago on January 9th, and they talked about their demand growth, that they expect to have energy demand continue to the upside. And they also they have actually $8.3 billion of backlog. So you want to talk about,
We're still talking about rig, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
fabulous. They have a beautiful investors presentation. that's online here that you can review. But and what I'll do, for anyone listening, I'll actually take the investors deck, and that was done on January 9, and what I'll do is I'll put it on my social media feed. If you follow me at I Love Stocks One, I'll put it in there. You can definitely have a look. Always do your own due diligence. But I'll put the investors deck here. It looks fantastic. So for a swing trade. So definitely see how this one plays out too. It's currently at 565.
All right, sounds good. I'll see if I can make room for RIG on my watch list. I really like the AQMS one. I love that we see eye to eye on NRGV this morning. Potentially that can be a stock that outperforms. And other than that, we're going into earnings season. We have Netflix after the close today, so we don't have time to talk about that, Vegas. And we have earnings, big cap earnings the next couple weeks. So be careful out there, guys. We could see a lot of chop in the markets until the market decides what direction it wants to take after the earnings season. So, Vegas, thank you so much, guys. You can follow her on I Love Stocks One on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.
Hey, thank you. Yep. And with that, I'm out of here as well. Take care, guys.